The Malay-speaking people have their cousins in Thailand, in Pattani. In 1902, the people living in Pattani found themselves on the wrong side of the border. This was likely because of the deal between the British and the ruling king of Siam. Now they call themselves Thailand. Now the king of Siam took over Pattani and all the provinces and districts in that area, and the towns. Hat Yai is a major Muslim city. Songkhla, major Muslim city. Now all those areas had Islamic culture and civilization the way we describe in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in India, in Africa, and the Middle East. But what has happened is, since 1902, there has been a gradual and systematic Thaization or Siamization of the Javi-speaking people, to the point that many of the Pondok, this is the Javi Malay term for Quranic schools, the Pondok. Now, you begin to see that the Pondok was gradually taken over by these by these Thais, to the point that the Thai government began to encourage the creation of Islamic schools that were under the control of the Ministry of Education in Thailand. And of course, many of those Muslims were now subjected to the program of Thaization. And of course, the Patani Liberation Movement, which fought against Haji Yusuf, who led this struggle against the Thais, was killed. And then, of course, some of his followers went to the bush and they started fighting against the Thai government. Now there is some kind of modus vivendi, to the point that today the foreign minister of Thailand came from that part of Thailand, Surin. And he is a Harvard graduate. And of course, he speaks Thai just like the other Thais. So he is part of that compromise between the Muslim ruling groups in southern Thailand and the Thai leadership in Bangkok. Now, this was not the case for the Muslims in Vietnam. Earlier on, we talked about, in the lecture on Islam in America, I talked about how before World War II, there were less than 100 Vietnamese in America. Today, there are over 1 million Vietnamese in the United States. Some of those Vietnamese came from Champa, Vietnam. These are the Champa Muslims. Champa is one of the kingdoms in Vietnam which was controlled by the Muslim Vietnamese. And of course, they have a history which is very similar to the history of the other Muslims in Southeast Asia. These are either the children of Arab or Persians, or they were converted by Muslim Sufis and Muslim traders. In fact, over 90% of them were the converts to Islam at the hands of Sufi masters and Arab Persian traders. In fact, if you go to Bangkok, there is a section of that place which was the settlement of the Iranians who lived there. Of course, today, the descendants, the great-great-great-great-grandchildren of those Iranians are indistinguishable from the other Thais. Some of them may not even know that they have Iranian ancestry because of their assimilation into the Thai population. The same thing happened in Vietnam. Those Champa Muslims had the same kind of relationship with the Vietnamese ruling dynasties that the Hui Chinese Muslims had with the Chinese dynasties. And of course, in their case, they were very much persecuted.